I love this game. The Autobiography has just been released this week. Delighted to say that the man himself, Patrice Evra, joins us on the line. Hi, Patrice.
Hey guys.
You can hear me there okay?
Yeah, you're very well.
What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Manchester.
Favourite city in the world?
Yes, because that's the city where I feel home.
So it's you love to get back. I presume you've still loads of friends, and it's quite a social occasion for you.
Oh yes, I think I feel like a Mancunian. So it's just like when I come back in the city, the energy, the love, it's just amazing, and it's a lot of memory. Like I say, I feel home. I live in Dubai. I go to different beautiful places, but Manchester is just like special.
The book I've just finished in the last few days, and it's a brilliant piece, and we'll get into it. You worked with Andy Mitten on it. Had you always in mind, Patrice, that you would write a book, or was this something that just came your way?
Actually, he came away. Is Andy Mitten, the writer. It was after the game. I was still playing for Juventus, and one guy's wait after the game, and it was raining, and he said, "Can I have a chat with you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm a friend of Ryan Giggs and Gary Neville, and I'm writing for the United column, and nice to meet you." And he gave me his card, and he say, "If you want to do anything, if you want to do a book, you just let me know, and we're gonna talk about it." Then I just call him one day. He visit me. He come to Juventus to visit me, and we had a chat, and we start. And he was like, "Tell me about your life," and we start recording, and we end up doing that book.
Yeah, it's incredibly honest for all that, and if we can get straight into it, Patrice, if you don't mind, the opening pages are a tough read, and I presume were very tough to write for you.
Yeah, I think it was important for me to say it, because I lived for so many years with that weight on my chest, that shame, that feeling like a coward to not like speak out. It was really important for me to do it, but not for myself, for the kids outside. Being in my place, someone has to step out, and that's why I hope because I already receiving so many support, so many messages, and even some people they've been abused like the same way, and this was important because I wanted to do the most honest book I can. And to be fair, I finished the book 1 year ago, and it's just like 3 months ago when I decided to put it in, because I met the woman of my life, and emotionally I'm more open than I used to be. So I'm getting rid to all that toxic masculinity and being open. And like I grew up crying was a sign of weakness, but now I know crying is a strength, and I am a human being. I have to show my emotion, but I have to block all my emotion for so many years when this trauma happened to myself. But it's not an excuse, and I wanted also to show to the young generation, it's no excuse. Already born as a colored person in this world is a disadvantage. Growing in the street is about surviving, and being abused is a trauma. No excuse. I'm happy now. I'm content. I'm complete. And that's what I want the next generation when they read that book. Football is a long journey, and I'm explaining this. That's why I couldn't start that book without telling, that strong story.
Yeah, and it is a very strong story. It's a very honest story, and it is a hard story, as I said, to read. Can you take us back, Patrice? You're 13 years of age. You moved to a school away from your home area of Les Ulis, and it's a school with a bit more of a football ethos, but it's a bit far from home, and that's where the trouble begins for you.
Yeah, that's the reason why, because I was every time taking a train, and at 5 a.m, 2 hours to get to my school. I had even school on the Saturday when every of my friends have a weekend off, but it was just a school when it's not an academy school, but it's just a school when you go to school and after you can play football with some coach. So back and forth, it was start to be like really like heavy, and I was losing my school bag on the train. I was sleeping on the train, not getting out of the right station. So it was a nightmare. That a teacher he offered He said, you know, I'm living inside the school. Instead of you going back and forth to your house, you should stay in my house. So at the beginning, it was like a dream. He was cooking for me. I had a Nintendo. I couldn't play video game, so it was like perfect. And but the nightmare was like every night when I was in my bedroom, and you know, he was trying to come and abuse me and touching himself. I had even to tie my pajama with some laces shoes. So it was a fight, a constantly fight for 10, 15 minutes. Then in one point he succeeded, you know, and he put his penis, my penis in his mouth. So it was weird because even me, I didn't have any sexual relation before that. So I didn't know what was happening. I know when I was fighting, I didn't want it, like no one to touch me. Yeah, when he did this, and you know, he was next to the bedroom, and I said to my mom, I don't want to stay to that person anymore, to that home. And she was like, why? And I said, just I don't want. But she knows something was wrong.
Yeah, you were very young, Patrice, and you weren't to understand obviously what was going on, and you internalized it, and in fact I think kept it to yourself until 3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, like the first person I opened myself was Margot, the woman of my life, because she was like, Patrice, you know, you're such an happy person, you're such a caring person and positive, but do you care about yourself? I say, yes, I'm happy. And she said, like, I don't know, it's something like wrong with you sometime, you know. And we watched a documentary on TV. It was about pedophile, and when I watched it, my face suddenly changed, and she was like, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. So she was trying to get in, and I don't let people in like so easy, and it was like she was annoying me doing that. But after I just burst in tears, and she was the first person I explained everything, because I trust her, because I feel safe next to her. Then, like I said, the big confrontation wasn't even when the book was released. It was more myself traveling to Paris and see my mom face to face and tell her that. It was a horrible day because she was devastated. Because imagine, I was 13 years old and now at 40 years old, I'm telling what's happening. It was even sometimes she sent me some voice note and she still like she don't understand. And she was also like, Patrice, I don't think you should put it in your book because it's private. But I was like, Mom, it's not about me. I'm fine. It's about the other kids now. So to send a message out there. And if you have been in my situation, it's easy to say like go and speak out, but make sure you find someone you can trust. And trust me, it will help you a lot. So don't be afraid. You know, it's not being about being weak or being like shame of yourself, like I've been, or feeling like a coward. It's just like to make sure, you know, those people, they stop doing those bad things to children. So I received so many support, so many messages already. And like I said, I don't do it for myself. I really do it for the kids out there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a conversation that we're very familiar with having in this country. Patrice, has a long and storied history, particularly in relation to religious groups in this country, and the impact not only on the victim but also on the families around that survivor can be huge. Obviously, in terms of, you mentioned in the book about the shame and the guilt, the impact is a ripple of impact, doesn't it? Even well beyond yourself.
It's all the people around you, the family, like. He built me, like, now I understand like so many things. Sometimes, you know, I see my friend dying or even member of my family, my brother, and I couldn't cry because, you know, you just stop all your emotion and you just like start to don't trust anyone. I didn't trust anyone in my life because of that. And it is a massive damage for the family, especially even when my brother and sister, I told them, they were all devastated and people feel guilty. And my mom said one thing, you know, because I keep saying sorry, she said, you should say sorry to no one else. You know, we are sorry to not be here and to understand something was wrong. So yeah, it's a massive damage for even the people around you.
The police, I believe, called you years later. They were following up on other investigations about the same teacher. Did anything ever come of that? I know at that time you weren't in a position to respond to that at that time, but did anything ever come of those investigations into that teacher?
That's what my mom asked me, and like I say, when you got those things, you want to bury them. You just don't want to talk about it. You just don't want to know what's happening next. I didn't. I think I'm sure, like, because my book come out now, those people from the police, they will maybe try to reach me or reach my team. I don't know. I don't know, to be fair. And my mom was like, if he's not dead, I'm going to kill you. But I was like, you see, ma, maybe it's the destiny. If I told you that 13 years ago, maybe you will end up in jail and I won't have the same education and, not living with my mom. So I think everything come for a reason. And I don't know, let's see. Maybe I'm going to be reached by the police and telling me why, when you were 24, you didn't say it. And, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's clear from the book and it's clear from talking to you that you're doing it for the reason of people that might be in the same situation and to try and get help for those who might be. So you're doing a very good thing and well done and well spoken out on it as well. Can I talk to you about some other aspects of it, Patrice? You word it as your addiction to Manchester United. The friends, the fans, the rivalries, the teammates, tough time for your family, I think, in Manchester at that time as well. And your respect for Alex Ferguson is a huge theme all the way through. Can you talk about your relationship with Alex Ferguson now for us?
He's bigger than a manager. Even him, I told him the abuse before I released in the book. He's someone I really trust. He's someone when I signed, say, Patrice, here you can be yourself. But the definition between my relationship with Ferguson, I was always scared to disappoint him. So it's such a mutual respect. I'm going to see him. We have lunch. I introduced him to Margot and my baby Lilas, and I'm going to see him actually Saturday. We talked last night. He was like, I'm going to sue you with my lawyers because you talk too good about me. So it's more than a manager. And that's why, when he had his incident, I was like devastated. But when his son, Jason, sent me a message and say, Patrice, I just want to make sure like my dad will be okay. And I know you are one of the few people he was happy to giving any news. I was like, wow, feeling really privileged. But it's just our connection will never end, and it's getting better and better.
Yeah, like it's funny. I'm actually really interested. The reason I laughed when you said that he was saying to put his set his lawyers on you about the positive things. You also do get to see that Alex Ferguson is a 3D character and not without his flaws at times.
No, but I think Ferguson, he gave the edge right to many players, and some of them even cry. You could be scared of your dad, but Ferguson was something else. Yeah. I always think one day he's going to die of a heart attack, the way he's shouting and the fan and the face. And it's like I say, outside the pitch, it's just amazing. But when the game starts, you need to bleed for United. And our relationship was so special. Then I always say that story. We were winning against Tottenham 2-0, and I was playing an amazing game. So we came back half time. Everyone was like, oh, Patrice, you're on fire. And the boss, didn't speak for 3-5 minutes, and when he don't speak, he mean like someone is in trouble. And he looked at me, he said, Patrice, are you okay? I said, yes, I'm okay. He said, are you tired? And when he said that, I look around, I think it was a prank. I was like, no, I'm not. And I was smiling. He said, why you pass the ball back to Andrew Van der Sar? I said, because I didn't have any solution for her. It was like, if you do that again, you're gonna end up and watching the game next to me. This is one of the worst game you ever played since you played for United. So he destroyed me, and I don't like the injustice. So I stood up, and we were talking face to face, and I was so angry. And the second half we won like 4-0. The next day, because I'm someone I like also to talk and to understand what's happening. The next day I knock his office. I said, boss, what's happened yesterday? He said, oh, son, you were the best player in the pitch, but because Cristiano Ronaldo was doing some trick, the other player, they were missing some chance. So, when you play for United, you have to score one goal and the second and the third. So, and he said, get out of my office, French, I won't say the swearing. And at the end, I understand, I said, this guy, he just send a message to the team, and he picked the best player on the pitch to make sure the other player, they woo, if he's killing me, imagine them. So it's just that kind of relationship, that trust. I can do everything for him, and he can do everything,
Yeah, and that trust and that loyalty obviously was a factor. And he stood by you around Luis Suarez has been back in the headlines obviously during the week. He's been back at Liverpool this week, and everybody's chatting about him again. And you go into big detail in the book about all that affair, the racist abuse obviously at that time, the hearing, the Liverpool reaction. The thing that I couldn't believe after all of that, and it really... look, it was an interesting piece where you had said a couple of years later you actually voted for him for PFA Player of the Year.
Yeah, because I don't have any hate. I don't have any hate in my heart, and I judge the players, not the person. Never be the best person in the world. But like I said, I don't call Luis as a racist because I don't know him close enough to call him that way. But that day, he used to raise his word. He tried to deny he's been banned, and I was in shock when the Liverpool team, they came out with the shirt and supporting because the ban was already done. So I was so delighted and surprised when Jamie Carragher in live TV, and he apologized for what he did 9 years ago, wearing that shirt, and I received some email from the owner of Liverpool saying, we're really sorry, and whatever, you're more than welcome to come in Anfield and stuff like that. So, I turned the page. I play against Luis Suarez in the final of Champions League when I was at Juventus, and I was talking with Neymar, and he came and I shake his hand. So, like I say, I'm someone I forgive.
There was a very funny story where yourself and your brother bumped into him and his family in Selfridges.
Yeah, but that's funny and not funny, because I think that there I could do something really bad, wrong, the dark side. Coming again, yes, we saw him at Selfridges. He was on his own first. My brother said, oh, Luis is over there. And as I start walking toward him, and I see his little girl and his wife. So I was like, okay, don't do something stupid, the family is there. But 100% if his family wasn't there that day, something bad will happen.
You've mentioned it actually a couple of times about the dark side, Patrice, and the anger, and it is a common theme throughout the book. How hard was it for you, and by the sounds of things, it could be difficult at times, you're not unique in that regard, a Rooney or a Costa or Roy Keane, I suppose, would have been another one that was like that mongrel, that dog on the pitch that would really get stuck in. Hard to always leave that on the pitch, though.
It was hard, because that's why the game, that's why people was like, Patrice, oh my God, this guy's, when it's the game, his face changes, a killer. And they're even people, they could understand my social media right now, seeing me smiling and this, because that's the whole adrenaline, that's why when I wake up in the morning, the first things I do is not having a breakfast, is going in the gym, doing my stuff, my exercise, because I've got that that fire inside. And that's the kind of fire I had all my life, because it helped me to survive. I can do nothing about it. I grew up in the street, so fighting was something normal. It's it's all about surviving. So yeah, a few days it wasn't easy. I had a lot of issue, and I fight with the groundman staff of Chelsea, in Monaco also with a fan, Marseille, So sometimes, we are human beings. I love when people say, oh, they are football players, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't. But I am a human being. I've got emotion, I've got real feeling. So when you hurt me, my defense, was to answer back, but with my fist. But that's why now I know fist is not a solution. But that's the way I am. And I improve a lot. When my woman, she's next to me, I feel peace, I feel safe. But of course, everyone has that fire inside.
18th of November 2009, Patrice, I don't know if that's a date that rings a huge amount of bells for you. When I tell you the location, you'll probably get a bit clearer with the Stade de France, France versus Ireland, obviously the game has become infamous at this point. Where were you on the pitch when William Gallas scores that goal?
No, I was behind. I think I wasn't too far. And I remember that game well because what a game. We won the first leg in Ireland 1-0, and the second leg, I think we didn't play in France, we played in Ireland because the Irish fan was just amazing. We had the worst first half. We were really losing 1-0. They battered us. And half time, the was speaking like, come on, guys, gonna be okay. And I remember I stood up, I said, guys, we are shitting ourselves. We're not going to the World Cup. They are like destroying us. So it was like a wake-up call. I have a big talk at the halftime. Then we came in, and that goal came. And the way the French people, they destroyed Thierry Henry, I was really, really upset because, some people, they like, it's funny, they were like, oh, he should have go and say, I did the handball, so fair enough. But I think even his own teammate and even his country, they will like maybe bring the guillotine back for Thierry Henry. So that game, I remember I had a little silly comment, like a joke when I come back in Manchester. They were like, oh, we should like replay the game. And I was like, I think we should replay the game in a PlayStation and stuff like that. But like now, the Irish people, like I have so much respect for them. And I even went in Dublin and I did the river dance. So to tell you, I'm learning that culture, many things, and I've been to that countryside when it's the massive mountain and it's the giant sleeping. And I was even like to John O'Shea, like, but I don't know, your country is so beautiful, so alive, such a positive energy. So yes, that episode was not nice, but not for us. It was not nice for the Irish people and for Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
And I think it was even worse for Thierry Henry.
Yeah, there was definitely a few people this side of the water, Patrice, who wanted his head in a guillotine. What was the reaction when you guys were on the pitch afterwards? There was obviously a lot of the Irish players were over to the official and to the referee. What were as players on the pitch at that time? What was your reaction?
No, my reaction was we didn't see it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. I knew after the game when I see the replay. And we saw like the handball, but during the game, like I don't know which Irish player said it was a handball because I don't have any like image in my head. And I didn't ask Thierry Henry if he did a handball like during the game because I was more focused to make sure to don't lose and qualify for the World Cup. So I wasn't aware of that just after the game. And
so when you say after the game, was that you guys were still in the dressing room and you were still together at that stage?
Yeah, we were still together. That's when we see the image because, you have a TV in the dressing room and that's when we saw that. But, we didn't, it was a silence. We didn't laugh about it. Like even the manager, it's not like we celebrate. I remember it was so weird because, when you have the feeling like you just didn't qualify for the World Cup. Because it was like, what's going on?
Just in terms of the reaction on the pitch, in the dressing room afterwards, after all that then, did it become a point of conversation or was it just like, look, it happened, it's done?
Taboo. It was like silence, like I say. It wasn't any celebration. It wasn't any happy. It was just like weird. It was like just flat, because we saw what's happened and we're like, sometimes you like to win maybe in a better way, but at the end, like that's why I say it's too easy for people to say like, oh, I wish we were doing this. I'm not sure like an Irish player, if he did that, he will say like, okay, hands up, because his country will destroy him. Like some people will say like, yes, but some people will say like, the football world is a dirty word. It's not like clean. Like some people, they will cheat to win a game. So that's why I don't want like people, they like to come with the best idea. Oh, if it was me. It wasn't you. I wasn't Thierry Henry. So I would never say what I was going to do because it didn't happen to me.
One last one on that just before we wrap. Did you speak to John O'Shea about it? How did that conversation go?
I remember when he was to Manchester, Jay-Z was still like upset. And no, we didn't talk about it. He just says you just lucky bastard. That's what he was saying. But we never talk about it. And I feel like Ireland every time when we play against them, even in the Euros, when it was such a magnificent game. You can feel the country still have that when now how they play against France, because it's like, they didn't go to the World Cup. But to be fair, I think they didn't do us a favor to qualify for that World Cup, because we saw what's happening in 2010. So it was more like a curse or a karma. I don't know.
Yeah, we enjoyed it, Patrice. Can I say that?
No, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And it's not like, I will be like, oh my God, I will, the same place, I will celebrate it. So, everything happened for a reason in life. And maybe, that moment, maybe France was not supposed to go to the World Cup, but we're going to keep saying the if, but it happened, it's history. We can talk about it openly and honestly. But of course, like, if I'm an Irish and I see your team like striking for the World Cup, I will like, oh, you deserve it.
The book is a brilliant read. There's loads of detail about that World Cup and future World Cups as well, and lots of other details. We could talk to you for a couple of hours, Patrice, but I know you're under pressure there to get out of here. You've been really good with telling your story. Can't recommend the book enough. Thanks a million for chatting to us, and catch up with you again soon.
You're more than welcome.